You made 11 changes for Pompey, 11 for Preston. Will it be 11 again for United? And what's the early team news?
Yeah, well, obviously we're in a very busy time. We've made the changes in the previous 2 games, and the guys have done really well in the previous round. So a lot of them have been pushed into play. A lot of them have been doing very, very well in training, very well in the game. So we'll have a think over today in terms of the squad, but it'll be quite close to the Preston squad, I would say, with a few other options maybe.
Is McAllister fit?
Yes, he is. Yeah, he was a little bit fatigued after the game against Preston. Probably need a couple of days just to recover, but he's trained this week and he'll be in the squad.
Would a Carabao win over United, Graham, make up for the agony of Saturday?
Well, I'm not sure about that. It was one of those experiences that I'm not sure I want to have too many of, to be honest. But it's gone now. It is what it is. We have to move forward. We want to try and progress. We want to try and do well in the game. We want to try and win, just for our sake to go forward in the competition. But we know we're playing against a good opponent, so it's going to be tough. But we'll try.
Obviously, it was a weekend of handball controversies. Neil Mopay, and then Joel Ward and Eric Dyer. I mean, Steve Bruce and Roy Hodgson were incredulous about the current interpretation of the handball rule. What are your thoughts? Should there be a change, and soon?
Yeah, I was just looking at, we've been playing football since, I don't know, the mid-19th century, and we're still trying to get to terms with a rule of handball and in the box. I think, in fairness, ours is a handball. Neil's is a handball. I think the other one's slightly different. I don't think anybody really wants to see handball given when it's completely innocuous and there's no intent to do anything, no advantage gained. So it's something that probably we all need to think about.
Just a couple of final ones, Graham. A lot of speculation is quite strong about Andy Zakiri coming in from Lausanne. His dad's even saying that he's coming to Brighton not to play in the under-23s but in the first team squad. His dad's pretty sure. What can you say?
Oh, again, he's this time of year, lots of speculation, Jeremy, lots of talk, but until the players are here, until the players are Brighton players, I don't tend to speak about anybody that isn't one of our guys, and he's not, so sorry, can't comment.
And just finally, any interest in your old Swansea player Dan James, because that's being speculated about too?
Again, I'm going to have to say the same thing. He's not our player. He's Manchester United's player. Great kid. I like him a lot because I worked with him for a year, but nothing to say.
Cheers, Graham.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Hello. In relation to transfer requests, just in relation to some players being mentioned there, Caroline Grant has been mentioned from Huddersfield, and Oswen Erdard from Celtic, and Krasnodar midfielder Reme Cabella. Any truth in those?
Again, I could be here all afternoon speaking about players that are linked with clubs. Our club, it's this time of year, they come from everywhere. So I would say no truth, no comment, nothing to say. They're not our players. I never normally speak about anybody that isn't playing for Brighton.
And are you looking for that player in the hole, that sort of a attacking midfielder, or are you looking for another striking option? Or are you happy what you have in terms of your attacking options?
No, we're happy with the group we got. I think we've progressed as a team. We want to try and improve. I've always said that that's the main focus of my job, is to try to help the players that are here. In any market, you want to use the window to see if there are any opportunities to strengthen, but the focus should always be on the players that we've got, and there's a lot of good players here.
Hi there, Graham. I guess every time I've spoken to you about the League Cup, we've had League One, Championship, and then now the Premier League. Always a step up, always an opportunity. What is the gulf, though, between that game against Preston and this one? How does it change when you're playing a team like Man United?
Well, it was one of the biggest clubs in the world. They've invested heavily over a number of transfer windows, so therefore they've got a very deep squad full of international top players, and there'll be fighting to play. Whoever they select will be a very, very, very good player. So we have to understand that and take that challenge on. That's simple as it is. You'd expect the competition to get tougher the further you progress, and I'm sure Manchester United will want to go through. So we have to do our best to try and play our game and to compete with a top opposition.
And as far as your squad's concerned, what have you seen from the team in the last couple of days? What's the sort of emotional feel about? I'm sure they were disappointed afterwards, but what have you seen since?
Yeah, really disappointed afterwards because the manner of the defeat was a sore one, as I said after the game, and they're only human beings and put such a lot into the game, and to lose like that is painful. But as I expect, the recovery's been good. They as you go further and further away from the game, you start to focus a little bit more on the things that you did well, and also the things that we can do better as well. So I think that's where the work has been in the last couple of days, and also trying to prepare for this game as well.
You talk about the things you did well. I mean, you hit the woodwork 5 times, a lot of shots from the edge of the box. Has that been a conscious decision this season to shoot more when getting around the edge of the penalty area? Obviously, not just in that particular game, but in some of the games before.
Well, it's a balance. I think the shooting decisions and shooting positions are always a thing that we speak about. I think it was Bruno Fernandes spoke about after the game. It's not about hitting the post; it's about scoring, and he's right. You don't get anything for hitting the post, so therefore, where you're shooting from and the position you're shooting from is important, because you want to shoot in a place where you think you've got a good chance of scoring. I think Solly's hit the post, in a good shooting position, and Leo second half, and then he's had a couple more edge of the box. Clearly, the further away from the goal, it's not rocket science. The more difficult it is to score. So you just got to weigh that up as an attacking player, as an attacking team, whether it's the right thing to shoot or the right thing to pass, and because the pass could lead to a better shooting opportunity. But what we're talking about essentially is the hardest thing to do in football, which is to put the ball in the back of the net and open play. And I think we've made some improvements with that, but I think there's still some improvements we can do as well.
Brilliant. Sorry about this, guys. Graham, I know you've already addressed the handball situation. If they did look to change it mid-season, do you think that would be slightly unfair on some of the teams like yourself who have been affected by this new implementation of the rules?
It's not something I've thought about, James, to be honest. I think we've had changes last season halfway through because of different circumstances. It's a big if. I have no idea what they're... Like I said, I find it a bit strange that we've been playing this game for a long, long time, and yet we're still a little bit unsure about the offside rule. We're a little bit unsure about the handball rule. We're a bit unsure about other things. So it can't be that difficult to get the game so that people recognise it, and the better and the sooner that is, the better. And then, like anything, I suppose you have to adapt and adjust to whatever the new situation is.
And talking about adapting and adjusting, does that mean you're teaching your players from a defensive point of view to maybe use their body differently from what may be natural to them, what may have been allowed last season?
I think it's something that we have to be aware of, and how they carry the body in the box is something that clearly, if the ball can go so easily and onto your hand with no intent, then clearly you have to keep the hands out the way and the arm out the way, and it's not so simple to do. And we've seen instances over the weekend where everybody can see that it's not anything deliberate. It's completely innocuous, and it's strange as a football person to see. So I think we need to probably think about that and refine it.
5 games into the season now, if you include the Premier League and Carabao Cup games, you should have more points than you do now, considering the performance against Man United especially. Are you happy with where you're at the moment from a performance point of view, from where your players are at physically at the moment?
Our performance has been in lots of things good. We've been able to maintain the performance over the 90 minutes. We pushed Manchester United all the way, so probably that says that physically, in terms of fitness, we're okay. We've got a good competitive group, so the spirit in the players, the spirit of the team is really, really good. Probably it is as good as we've ever had, so that's positive. But we also know that we're here to get points, so we're a little bit disappointed with only having 3. But our challenge is to maintain the performances that we've put in, because I think if you can maintain that, then you get points over the season.
And just finally for me, if I can ask you about captaincy, it was quite interesting at the weekend that Frank Lampard gave Thiago Silva the captain's armband. Obviously, Lewis Dunk's growing as a role. He's admitted that himself, and I'm sure you're pleased with how he's coping with it. But what's the most important thing for you when it comes to a captaincy point of view? Is it a case of leading by example? Is it the communication point of view as well? What's crucial for you?
No, I think you just have to select based on the qualities in the squad, and then whatever your captain is, I think they've got to be themselves, most importantly, and understand their personality and bring that to the group. Lewis has taken over Bruno, and Bruno was a captain for a while, and is a different character, different stage of his career, different attributes, different qualities. So it's important that Dunkey's not copying somebody else. It's important that he's him, and then if you're a leader by example, or you're more vocal or whatever, that's fine, and you just have to, but importantly, you bring the best of yourself to the role.
Brilliant, thanks.